horsepower.
Listen, you're a big boy. I don't gotta
There you
tell,
go.
I don't gotta nag you.
Then I guess I'll
Well-
do one. I don't even know what to do with it.
You just hop on the internet. You know what? I will send you an email to.
Welcome to the regular Piqua City Commission meeting, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Let us begin by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, will the clerk call the roll?
Mayor Lee,
Here.
Commissioner Grissom,
Here.
Commissioner Pearson. Here. Commissioner Foat.
Here.
And I'll make a motion to excuse Commissioner Hines.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Commissioner Hines excused. Next on the agenda is the announcement of the tree committee board opening. There is two openings for the tree committee. Applications and information are available on our website through the form stack, or you can call our clerk, commission clerk, Karen Jenkins, at 778-2074 for information. And those will be due, did you say March 20th? May 20th.
May 20th.
May 20th, 2021. Next is a proclamation for a bike month. And if you don't mind, I will just read the proclamation. It says, whereas for more than a century, the bicycle has been an important part of lives of most Americans, and whereas today, millions of Americans engage in bicycling as an environmentally sound form of transportation, an excellent form of fitness, and as a quality family recreation activity. And whereas Piqua hosts events such as Piqua Bike Challenge, Slow Rolls, and Kiwanis Bike Rodeo, and other events that promote bicycling. And whereas local and visiting bicyclists enjoy traveling U.S. Bike Route 25, that's just what it says, the Great Miami River Trail, the State Bike Route 36, the Ohio to Indiana Trail, and other local route to explore some of Piqua's scenic landscapes and to connect to the destinations within the community. And whereas creating bicycle-friendly communities has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and quality of life, to boost community spirit, to improve traffic safety, and to reduce population and congestion. And whereas projects such as the US Route 36 Shared Use Path, the Commercial Street Bicycle Boulevard, the Bike Piqua Advocacy Group, Piqua's participation in the Riverway Coalition, continuing Lock 9 Park improvements, and Code Piqua's transportation plan aim to further develop infrastructure and ridership that will further enhance the quality of life within the community. And whereas the League of American Bicyclists and independent cyclists throughout our state are promoting greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce accidents, injuries, and fatalities. And whereas the citizens of Piqua benefit from the availability of a complete transportation system that includes facilities dedicated to the safety and convenient movement of bicycle traffic, now therefore be it resolved that the City of Piqua Commission hereby proclaims this month of May 2020 as Bike Month in the City of Piqua. All right, now who is going to receive this proclamation? I will come down. Can I take some pictures with you? Somebody want to take some pictures?
Great.
I'm asking you to where it's at. I want to shake your hand. All right. Yes, say a few words, just right there at the podium.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
I guess I should start with Jim Hemmert, Boone Street, Piqua, Ohio. On behalf of Bike Piqua, we really appreciate the city acknowledging that May is Bike Month. And as everybody knows, last year was a fiasco.
Yes.
For 4 years in a row, we had bicycle safety programs at Washington School, Piqua Intermediate, the Piqua Junior High, and we had bicycle rodeo participation with the Kiwanis. Last year, we had 4 slow rolls that were approved and ready to go. That went down the tubes also. What I'd like to say tonight, just briefly, is yes, we are planning 4 slow rolls this year.
Let's do them.
A slow roll is a slow bicycle ride through a different neighborhood in Piqua. This year, we're going to have the first one over in the Shawnee area. The second one will start at Canal Street, go down the bike path to the power plant, to that beautiful observation deck that's down there, and then ride up and down some of the streets in the south part of Piqua. Our third and most popular, last year, 2 years ago now, we had 41 people participate in the bike slow roll that started at Washington School and rode through Park Ridge, Deerfield, and Eagles Nest. That seems to, a couple years in a row, be the most popular one.
I bet.
And because last year we had COVID, we couldn't go to Candlewood. And 2 years ago, Candlewood had several streets under repair. So we skipped Candlewood also. So this year, we are going back to Candlewood and ride up and down the streets of Candlewood. It's an opportunity for people of all ages, all athletic ability. If you can ride a bike, this is something, I think the longest ride is 7 miles, but the ride average is 5.5 to 6 miles. And we just leisurely ride through neighborhoods. And actually, some people only know the street that they live on. They go down to the certain stop sign, turn right, third house on the left is my house.
Yeah.
So again, a slow roll is to get people out, see their neighbors, let their neighbors see them, and ride up and down some of the streets. I mean, I get lost every time I go up to Candlewood. I cannot figure out what street I'm on or how to get to the one I want to go to. So again, it's just an opportunity to ride in the neighborhood, a slow ride, people from 9 to 90, blind, bow-legged, and crazy. We invite you all. And there is going to be an announcement in the paper soon about the bike rides, and then each bike ride, one is planned in June, July, August, and September. So we invite everybody to come out, ride a bicycle, join us. If you got a scooter, bring your scooter. We don't care. Just get out, be active, be healthy, and join us.
Well, we
And again,
appreciate-
on behalf of Bike Piqua, we appreciate your acknowledgement of May being Bike Month.
Well, we appreciate your participation, continued participation, and encouragement of all citizens of Piqua to be healthy and to ride bikes. So
Oh,
thank
one
you
more.
very much.
One PS,
Yes.
I ride the bike path nearly every day, and according to Brian Brookhart, I am known as the path reporter. If I see graffiti, if I see a tree limb down, I email Brian.
Good.
I know that this year, and I'm sorry, I don't know the gentleman's name. He took Fred's place, drives the blue pickup truck and picks up the washers, dryers, and bicycles that are left out. Joe, is it?
I'm not,
I don't
yeah,
know.
Amy said that. Joe Schneider.
Joe Schneider.
Thank you. He has been doing a fantastic job on the bike path, cutting down all that honeysuckle
I love it.
in various places. And he is going to make Pickwa's Bike Path a destination.
I love it.
The way it is shaping up, the levee bank over on Washington Avenue, the honeysuckle going out toward the west. I think the city wastewater plant did some work just as you enter the woods down by the wastewater plant.
Yeah, it's all cleared out.
So on behalf of those guys, we bicyclists really appreciate the beauty that's coming from all this work that's being done on the bike path.
All righty.
Thanks again.
No, thank you. And we appreciate our city employees. We like to let them know when they're doing good stuff,
Thank you.
which is all the
Thanks,
time.
Jim.
All right. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda.
So tonight we have 7 items on the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes from the April 6th, 2021 regular Piqua City Commission meeting. Resolution number R-35-21, a resolution appointing Natalie Young as a member to the Park Board. Resolution number R-36-21, a resolution appointing Nolan Campbell as a member to the Park Board. Resolution number R-3721, a resolution appointing Joe Drapp as a member to the Energy Board. Resolution number R-38-21, a resolution appointing Tom Christie as a member to the Civil Service Commission. Resolution number R-39-21, a resolution appointing Wayne Davey as a member to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Resolution number R-40-21, a resolution appointing Shannon Brannon as a member to the Planning Commission.
All right. Any questions from the commission?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to comment that we had quite a bit of applicants, a lot of well-qualified on multiple boards, and that's just really exciting to see.
Yeah.
So it was a tough competition on a lot of them, and so I just appreciate everybody wanting to step up and
Yep.
participate on these boards.
Mr. Campbell is here tonight, and I appreciate his willingness to participate in a city board. Also, I guess you got appointed to another board that the school board named you to as well. So I'm very, very impressed. I appreciate your civic mindedness, and keep doing what you're doing, young man. You're doing good things. All right. So I will take,
I'll make a motion to pass the consent agenda.
I'll second.
all those, moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is new business.
Resolution number R-41-21, an emergency resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract to employ Frank J. Patrizio as law director and McCulloch, Felgerfite, and Gutman Co. LPA as legal counsel for the city of Piqua. And City Manager Oberdorfer will give our information on this.
Good evening, Commissioners. So this contract is just to continue our relationship with Mr. Patrizio and continue the good work that he's done in terms of our legal representation, both as a law director and as a prosecutor for the city. To give you an idea of the contract value and the benefit we're reaping from this, in fiscal year 20, the contract, we spent $97,493 on that. If you were to have a full-time, fully benefited employee, that price would have been about $170,000 with all total compensation. Frank has been able to recover $23,378 in a spill recovery due to an accident. His office also found $8,100 in fines related to property maintenance. Our first $114 in restitution to the City of Piqua Utilities for illegal connection, and this is the first of many to come, I'm sure. He was active in 523 court cases in 2020, and we're at 173 to date this year. And then in terms of property maintenance, we've had either fixed up or abated 10 properties, fixed up and sold 2 properties, sold 3 properties to the city, tore down 2 properties. We have 6 that are currently open, and we've dismissed 4 cases for various reasons. So it's a very valuable contract, and I appreciate the good work that he does and the support that Ms. Jenkins provides that office.
They do a good job. Any comments from the commission?
Keep up the good work, Frank.
Thank you. And I'd just like to thank Karen. She does a tremendous job for me, and she keeps me on task on Wednesdays and other days. Wednesday is a very busy day. I was looking, just counted how many cases we have tomorrow. We have over 40 cases, and honestly, we couldn't do it without Karen helping.
She does a great job. She's helped me out quite a bit myself, so, for the commission, so we appreciate her.
I would also like to thank you, Frank, for supporting the cemetery board. The 3 of us that have served that board, and without your guidance and your counsel, we appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
I'll make a motion
Wait,
to
wait,
approve.
wait. We gotta,
Do we need to do a roll?
no, I'm gonna have the citizens, any comment from citizens about this, measure?
Yeah, I'm Larry Hamilton, 1104 Maplewood Drive. And I guess I'm just seeking a point of clarification. Does that read an emergency resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract to employ Frank J. Patrizio as law director and McCulloch, Felger, Fight, and Gutman Company, LPA, as legal counsel for the city of Piqua? So it's not Frank J. Patrizio as law director from McCulloch, Felger, Fight, and Gutman Company.
It is what it says.
It is what it says. Is that
Correct.
One of the reasons why is for, if I'm not available, it allows for people in my office to fill in for me on Wednesdays. There also is an attorney that goes down with me on Wednesday, which I don't charge extra for him, and he assists me, and it allows for me to bring people in our office and to have them appointed as prosecutors. Also, if I go on vacation, to fill in here in the building.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Now, since it's a resolution, will you call the roll?
Certainly will. Mayor Lee.
Aye.
Commissioner Grissom.
Aye.
Commissioner Pearson.
Aye.
Commissioner Foat.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Next is resolution number 42-20, R-42-21.
A resolution authorizing a purchase order to Engineered Floors LLC for the purchase and installation of new carpet on the 2nd floor of the municipal government building. Bob Grazer, Engineering Project Manager, will present the staff report.
Thank you very much. This year, we budgeted to do in the 2nd floor, according to what the staff report does say, that we budgeted money to paint the 2nd floor, as well as also doing all the carpeting on the 2nd floor. As you can notice, our budget was $95,000. We put this out for bid with some different companies, and it came in higher than using state bid contract pricing. So that's what we're requesting the commission to approve this request.
How old is the carpet up there now?
I'm sorry?
How long has the carpet been?
20 years. Yeah, it was when the building was originally built, Chris. So, yeah, we haven't done anything, and we're in need of it. It's showing it's actually weathered pretty well, but these are going to be squares, so they won't be broad looms, so we can replace the pieces that we need to when we need to, and we won't have to put up with the stains. So it'll be much more improved and more longevity and a better carpet overall, of course. Anything that's 20 years old is much better than what it was.
Any other questions from the commission?
He just answered mine.
Mine too. That's a big one. Any questions from citizens? No? As it's a resolution,
I move that we adopt resolution R-42-21.
I'll second.
All right, moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Next is resolution number R-43-21.
A resolution awarding a contract to Shock Manufacturing for the purchase of an exhaust system and enclosure doors for number 8 gas turbine. Ed Krieger, Power System Director, will be presenting the next 2 staff reports.
Thank you. So, as you're aware, over the years, I've come at various times to discuss improvements, reliability enhancements to these 2 combustion turbines that the City of Piqua Power System has owned and operate for a number of years. We have a General Electric Frame 5 that was installed brand new back in 1971, and then we have a Westinghouse 191 that was purchased used and moved to Piqua. It's a 1965 unit, moved to Piqua in the mid-'80s. And these units basically fell in disrepair due to really the lack of economic necessity to run those over the years. These markets started to change at around 2009, and we foresaw that they were really pretty strategic assets that could provide our citizens with significant savings on our power bills if we could get the units to run reliably. That was the key, and at that point they were not reliable. And so if I was going to ask our employees to run these units and try to run them efficiently and reliably, we need to come up with a plan. 2010, we did a comprehensive inspection on the units. We identified a number of items that needed to be addressed, and then we actually started down the path of incrementally making improvements to these strategic assets. Not only do these units provide savings to the tune of $1 to $2 million a year on our power bills, but something that gets lost sometimes is the fact that we have the ability to black start this unit, and not that we want to have the day when the grid goes dark, but it's nice to have a backup generation capability, and with these 2 units we can carry about half the city's load. And so that's something that we may never use, but it's like the generator at your home if that's important to you, and I think it is important, especially the fact that we can provide our customers 7 to 8% savings annually on our power bills. So we actually are coming to the end of what I consider the major improvements to both of the units. We've budgeted this year to replace the exhaust stack on number 8 gas turbine, which is the one just south of the power plant. And if you drive by there, it's an eyesore. We've painted it. But if you know anything about body work, you can't paint rust. It doesn't take long and the rust comes back out. So the exhaust was originally made in 50 years ago, and it's pretty much all carbon steel. The sound baffles that were installed originally, if you go by now when it's running, it's very loud, and those baffles blew out of the unit several years ago. So one of the key things we want to do with this exhaust replacement is reestablish the sound baffles to really improve the operations. We have a residence right across the street from our substation, and I think it's something that we need to do. Just to give you a feel for the economics, again, it's been a long-term plan, but I think it's really paying off. If you look at the investment that we've put in the units in the last 5 years, including what we've budgeted for this year, it's about $750,000, which is a lot of money. But over that same period, we've been able to save our customers $8.3 million on their power bills. So the units are running better than they ever have since I've been here, and I feel real good about where we're at. And this legislation would allow us to make this improvement, and then the plan would be to come back next year to replace the inlet ductwork. So you pull air into the unit and then you exhaust it out the top. So this year we'd replace the exhaust. Next year we'd replace the inlet. The fact that the number 9 gas turbine was a 1965 unit, it was in worse condition, and we have already replaced the inlet and the exhaust on that unit back in 2016.
All right. Any questions from the commission?
So big dollar wise on the project, we're about to the end of that for these, and then it'll just be maintained going forward.
You know, these are large
Yeah.
mechanical, electrical devices, and the good news, one of the good news is with these units is when we started this process in 2011, we actually had an unexpected failure on this same unit. We had insurance. We were able to rebuild the rotor, and we had a pretty good insurance payment to help cover a big part of the cost. The insurance companies wouldn't provide us coverage for a number of years until we performed a comprehensive inspection on our other unit, which we did in 2015. And so since that time now, we have insurance on both units. So one nice thing is, you know, that we have $15 million of insurance on each of the units. So,
Great.
you know, I can't guarantee things
Yeah.
won't happen, but we have insurance in case they do. I feel like we've addressed a lot of the major items, and, you know, we'll continue to be prudent about how we maintain these moving forward.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any comments from the city and citizens?
I'm just going to add, I'm working on there and being a part of the Energy Board. I do appreciate all the hard work. I'm kind of planning it out on a long-term scale so that it doesn't come all at once, you know, to hit these issues. And to see that, you know, that amount of savings, even though we've invested in it, we're definitely getting our return out of them, and that they're actually running better than they ever have. And we're coming to the end of that. So even while we were still investing money into them, there's a significant amount of savings for our consumers as well, too. And then that's only going to get better for the long term.
And the long-term trends for these costs that we're actually able to reduce, their transmission costs and what they call capacity costs, but the long-term trends are those costs are going to continue to rise. So we've got to hedge against those rising costs. So.
And I like the idea of a backup because you
Yes.
never know, and that's something that most cities don't have, so we can appreciate that for sure.
And we have good EPA permits on both of these units.
Great.
So.
Appreciate it. All
I'll-
right.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution number R-43-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. Next is resolution number R-44-21.
A resolution retaining the services of UIS Power Services to provide professional electrical testing and engineering services for the power system.
This is another item that I've been here a number of times over the last several years. We started on our 69,000 volt breaker replacement project back in 18, and we started laying the groundwork for that even before that. And just as kind of a reminder, you know, we have three major substations where we basically import power into our grid. And what controls the flow of power into our grid are these 69,000 volt circuit breakers and the associated relaying, which is kind of the brains of how they operate. These original breakers were, again, 40 to 50 years old. They were oil breakers, and we had some SF6 breakers as well, and they were become very difficult to maintain. We were able to identify Hitachi as a really good alternative to these units. We entered into agreement with Hitachi to replace all 12 of those breakers, and we started in 2018 with the plan that we were going to complete it in 3 years. We actually cut our plan back last year because of COVID and the resulting impact on our revenues. And so we had 5 breakers to replace. It's our substation number 4. We replaced 2 this spring. We have 1 more to do this fall to wrap that project up. UIS Power Services is one of our partners on this project. They provide electrical testing and commissioning services for projects like this. They work with us every year and have worked with us for over 20 years. They have skills and knowledge and equipment that we don't have, and so they're really an important partner for us. In a typical year, we won't be coming to commission to do work with them because it's usually less than city manager's approval level, but with doing this project this year and the amount of commissioning work, we're going to exceed that level, and so that's why I'm coming here tonight.
The Energy Board unanimously recommended it?
That's correct, and I failed to mention on the previous one as well, both these items were vetted through the Energy Board at our last regular meeting, and both were unanimously recommended. Thank you.
That's good. No, that's good stuff. Any questions from commission? Any questions from the citizens? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number R-44-21.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. Next in our commission meeting is public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the city commission regarding agenda items, issues, or to provide information. Comments are requested to be limited to 5 minutes, and specific questions should be addressed to the city manager's office. Anybody like to come forward and speak?
Good evening. Once again, I'm Larry Hamilton. I live at 1104 Maplewood Drive. And from time to time, I encounter former students on the streets and have a casual conversation. And quite often they say, you know, Mr. Hamilton, I wish that I had paid attention when I was a student in your classroom. Because now, as an adult, I really value and understand what it was that you were attempting to teach me. Having said that, I want to encourage those former students to pay attention. You're about to learn a great deal over the next several weeks and months here in the city of Piqua. We are going to have a public dialogue that is going to be meaningful, instructional, informative, and hopefully will be an opportunity for the city of Piqua to show its mettle, its true colors as to who it really is. So, having said that, I want to announce and encourage those former students who are now interested in paying attention to watch a YouTube program titled Man U Mission.
Can you say that again?
Exclamation mark, Man U Mission. A journey toward spiritual freedom as a gift to Piqua. I'll repeat that. The YouTube video is titled Man U Mission, exclamation mark, a journey toward spiritual freedom as a gift to Piqua. And I'm sure that you might have some questions about that, but watch the video. Pay attention. The second thing that I'd like to say is I want to congratulate Mayor Lee, a former Piqua City official, stopped by the Randolph and McCulloch Freedom Struggle Complex and dropped off a copy of the Catholic Telegraph, in which there was an article on Meet Chris Lee. Piqua's mayor dedicates life to faith, family, and bringing God to those around him. So I want to commend Chris as a former student who paid attention.
I did.
And we hope that there are some things that he'll be willing to engage us in over the next several weeks.
Do you want to talk about Juneteenth?
I'm going to let you do that.
Well, I was just going to bring it up, but I haven't been to the meeting yet, so I don't know what all is in store. So
what I want to continue to talk about is the city of Piqua having initiated a conversation last year in regards to the subject of racism. It dealt with health disparities And as a prelude, I think this was a statement. Racism, the city of Piqua is engaged in a conversation with the community regarding racism and health disparities. The goal for the community is to strive towards health equity, where every individual can reach their full health potential. Now, the question becomes, and that discussion took place, and there was an enactment, as I recall. Am I correct about that?
A what?
An enactment on the part of the city commission endorsing that, recognition of racism and health disparities,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. So the question becomes, what happens now or next?
Well,
right? And there was an article in the papers that said the resolution is a starting point, and that's what Mayor Chris Lee was referring to. But apparently the bell has
keep
signaled.
going. I'm gonna let you finish, sorry.
And Chris's comments were, it is not saying that there is a problem with racism in Piqua. We're not saying that. We're saying that there is a problem with racism, period, throughout the country. So again, based upon resolutions by the city of Piqua, proclamations by the city of Piqua relating to issues of race, and specifically the Randolph narrative associated with race issues, I want to know, what are we doing?
What?
I want to know what specific steps have been taken by the city of Piqua to address these issues of equity and disparity in regards to
Health.
our pronouncement and our recognition of racism within the city. So I will step away from the mic. I know I've spent my time.
Well, thank you. And we will get with you on that.
I expected a response tonight.
We will get back with you on that. Thank you. Anybody else in the?
Evening.
Evening.
Just wanted to add to the bike month and give some data and some interesting stuff that's been going on.
Sure.
I'm Kirsten French. I'm Piqua City Planner. I'm also a resident here at 1008 Camp Street. We have a bike trail counter, and it counts passes through. It's somewhere on the Ohio to Indiana Trail, but I'm not going to tell you where because you'll mess with the data. So it's recorded. We've got 2020 data complete, of course, and we saw a 7% increase in trail users compared to the previous year, and a lot of that was the lockdown and having people come out. Our counter can also break things down via total trips versus trips on a bike. We had 35,566 passes, which is trips. Jim sometimes makes the trip twice, so some of that's just Jim. 13,895 of those trips were recorded to be on a bike. So it's actually quite a lot of ridership. We are also, as that proclamation noted, part of the Riverway Coalition, which is the Great Miami Rivers promotional group to connect all of the communities on the river together. They are actually offering some really good data sets that are able to tell us more about the users of the trail network. Where are they coming from? How long are they going to stay in Piqua? What do they spend money on? This is really interesting information to see the economic impact of bicycle users, river. It could be people coming also on the Riverway via kayaking or that kind of thing too. We have from the Down a River, Down a Beer event, this is sort of related to that. Dr. Jim Burkhart, who runs that event, has agreed to purchase a kiosk, which you'll see installed behind the City of Piqua power plant's overlook. It'll be right next to that. So that's going to have a nice map so people can find our loop trail and the other regional trail connectors, and then do some wayfinding for people. That's about all I've got for you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kristen.
Any other comments?
Jim Hemmert, 645 Boone Street. Kirsten brought up some things that brought up more things for me.
Yeah.
Out on the bike path, there are new signs that people have been asking me time and time again, what is this? There are 3 trails that crisscross here in Piqua. There's the Ohio-Indiana Trail, which is going east and west, and there are signs that indicate that. There is the Route 66 Trail, which goes from French Park out toward Riverside Drive, which again will continue further on as time goes on. And there's the 25A Trail.
Oops, sorry.
The important thing that I'd like to bring up tonight is, number one, let you know that there are new signs and there's different trails that crisscross here in Piqua. The part that really impresses me, and I hope it impresses everybody else, if you are on the Ohio-Indiana Trail and you need help and you have your cell phone, the Ohio-Indiana Trail has different colors on the post than the Route 66 Trail and the Route 25 Trail. So not only do they have mile markers, they have color code. So if you happen to call and you don't remember the last mile marker you rode by, but you remember it was green, you can tell them, I'm on the green trail. So it's identified as the Ohio-Indiana Trail. It's identified by mile markers, and it's identified by colors. So for all those people that haven't figured it out yet or haven't learned about it, I hope you got something here in this 20 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
I rode that trail a lot. I never noticed that. I appreciate you bringing that up.
Any other citizens would like to make comments? All right. City managers report.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. I have 3 items this evening. First is an announcement about paving that's going to take place out on Ash. The pavement repairs will start Thursday at 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. It could be a week-long closure on and off. The paving won't be every day, but be prepared to have interruptions to traffic eastbound East Ash Street from Scott Drive. The second item is just a notice that we had an internal reorganization of the Utility Business Office, or UBO. It took place last week, the announcement, and it'll take effect on July 5th of 2021. It's going to be reorganized under the Piqua Power, which is an RP3 Diamond level reliable public power provider with excellent customer service and focus. And so we look forward to having a new direction in that office beginning on July 5th. I'd like to thank the Finance Department who had run UBO for the past several decades for their leadership, and we just look forward to having a new era. And lastly, the Piqua Fourth Fest will take place on July 4th from 3 to 9:30 p.m. with fireworks at 10 p.m. We have the sponsors for the stage, Premier Health, and Jackson Tube is a site sponsor where the fireworks will be launched from. And so it'll be a scaled-down version of what we typically have, but we wanted to get back into communing and getting together as a community.
As we slowly open up.
Absolutely. And that's the end of my report, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Commissioners' reports. We'll start with Commissioner Grissom.
Thanks. First thing I have is Dora, just giving people a little bit of update. We do have a committee put together, sat on the first meeting, so just general talk, so more to come on that. But that is in the works. One thing Thomas and I have been really looking into is medical marijuana dispensaries. If anybody didn't see yet, the state of Ohio did approve for 72 new licenses. That in our area, there is 2 for, which would be Miami County, Shelby County, Logan County. And I know there's been a little bit of confusion on what that actually means. Is the city going to get one? No, that's not how it works. What was it, last year? We basically just voted to remove the restrictions. So if an entrepreneur wants to file with the state for their own license and open up shop in Piqua, they're now capable of doing so. So that is exciting. That's on the horizon. Also working with the transparency. I know Cindy has done a real good job working to get us so that we can have open dialogue with the citizens. And we're still working, trying to get some ways to communicate back and forth a little bit more easier than where we can give true feedback and receive it as well too. So looking for more of that to be coming. And then utility software, I know probably about a month ago we talked about it, had a meeting. I didn't know if there was any kind of update. Last I heard, we're kind of in the testing phases, correct?
That's correct. So the current phase, they're testing the Springbrook software, which is our ERP or our enterprise level software system that handles our financial data. And so once that's complete, there's quite a bit of back-end custom coding that's being done. And then the AMI system that plugs into that, that'll provide the automated metering data, that's going to be the second phase. So we're going to complete the ERP side of the house first, and then transition into the automated side billing. And so that should be underway. We look at having a lot of that completed by July, or in the month of July, if all goes well.
Yeah, thanks. So it sounds like we're right on track from the original.
Today we are, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. I did want to bring up the downtown Main Street. I know I still continue to see a lot with that, a lot of controversy there. I didn't know if there was any thoughts or updates. I've seen multiple people, providing input. I just was kind of curious on your thoughts on kind of where we're at with that, or if there is a place for people to provide additional input on that direction, because I know I've seen continued videos of issues still.
Not as many, no, not as many.
So I can't speak to that. I've spoken to the police chief about increasing enforcement down there, and it really comes down to driver error and just a blatant violation of going, the wrong way on the street. And so while we provide an engineering solution to try to engineer out as much as we can, you can't necessarily change driver behavior other than through the enforcement. So they've stepped up enforcement. We'll see what that does. In the meantime, there's some other alternatives that we're exploring, but they're a little bit more costly.
Ultimately, we plan on removing the planters?
What's that?
Do we plan on removing the planters that are out
I think
there?
for this summer, we're going to plan on replanting the planters and leaving them where they're located.
Okay.
And then once we look at a boulevard section and potential improvements along that way for pedestrian, better interface between the pedestrian and vehicular traffic, that will address that, some of those turning movements.
Okay.
Has there been any thoughts on, I hear from multiple people, of just closing off that so that's just parking and you can't drive through whatsoever?
Well, so that it's pretty narrow in there, and if we do anything, then we would probably change the direction of travel so that you would turn off of Main Street, you would turn right and go up high. So, yeah, we'd have to look at that because the way that the parking stalls are set up now are angled parking in the reverse direction. But to cut that off, there's not enough room to turn around and reformat that. But that whole area, we have a contract with a consultant right now to look at the scope of Main Street in general with the quads and in that area in particular. So we should have some good ideas about what to do shortly in several months.
I just really appreciate the effort in looking into it.
Yep, yes, sir.
I think that was it, except for I did see on Facebook a city cleanup that was supposed to occur Saturday, but I also saw a cancellation for it. So I just wanted to clarify, it is canceled, correct?
That is correct. We're still under some COVID issues with trying to get the cleanup done, and we hope to resume that next year.
Okay.
Thanks. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I wanted to take off my mask.
Yes.
Mention again that the commissioners are going to be offering an open forum on May 20th at 7 p.m. And that open forum is going to occur down here on near the gazebo. So bring your lawn chair if you have questions or you want to talk about issues. All 5 of us are going to be there, and we'll be happy to discuss with you any issues that you might be having. A reminder, too, that on Memorial Day, my nephew, who was killed in Iraq, Sam Pearson, there is going to be a 5K in memory of him. And they've done this many years. The 5K is going to be at CrossFit, and the run walk will be on the bike path itself. The cost is $25, and the money will go to scholarships for students here in Piqua. Another item I have is that this morning there was a surprise award given to a volunteer. His name is Cleet Toby, and Cleet's 90 years old, and he has been working out at the cemetery, gardening, planting, pulling weeds for years and years. And I got to meet him today. He was surprised and in awe of getting the award from the Community Foundation, which is the Scott Hinch Family Award. And the award is actually a grant, and it was $2,000 that will be awarded to the cemetery. So I was just pleased as punch to meet him. He's a cool guy. He reminds me of my grandpa, who loved to garden, had a beautiful garden every summer. So if you get a chance and you see him, say hi to him. He's a delight to talk to. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner, can I say something about Cleet?
Yeah.
I knew him from Heritage Festival days,
Oh, yeah.
and I used to be actively involved in it, and he was out there every year. He would set up, he and Tom Hildebrand, another gentleman, Jim Schultz, they were all in their 70s at that time. And I used to get the community service workers and workers out there to help set up and tear down. And they'd ask me what to do. I said, keep up with those guys. They were incredible, and Cleet's one of them, and he is an extremely nice person.
Yeah.
He's been working for the cemetery for years, and I'm glad to see that he got that award.
Yeah, yeah. It's awesome.
All righty.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Foat.
So just a few things to mention tonight in regards to the proclamation here in Ohio, not too far away from us. You know, we talk about Bike Month being in May. There is an awesome bike museum up in New Bremen, Ohio. You know, I recommend that our citizens take the opportunity to go up there and see that museum, just to see where the bikes come from to yesteryear to where we're at currently today. So, you know, I encourage our citizens to go up there and check that out. We got a lot of those amenities right in our back door to take advantage of. So great that we recognize the Bike Month here in Piqua. Next thing I want to talk about, I had a meeting last week with the city manager, health and sanitation director, and also the public works director in regards to the chicken co-op. For me, this is now in an initial planning phase. I'll be looking at what the square footage requirements would be for the chicken coops. It seems that the chicken co-op would be the way to go. After doing further discussions, we would be able to graduate families out of a program and then allow it to come to the citizens' homes after graduating out of the program that the city would help us manage. They would not be in charge of it. There would be lease agreements, so on and so forth, between the co-op and the city to make this thing go off without a hitch, ensure that, you know, public health is aware of everything. So I want to thank the city staff for meeting me out there so we could talk about that. A lot of great ideas come out of that conversation. So expect more information on that. I'm going to be lobbying a poll out there again as to how many families we would actually have interested before I get too wrapped up in this. So that'll be going out on the social media websites here soon to do that poll. As Commissioner Grissom talked about, you know, him and I have been keeping an eye on this medical marijuana thing. One conversation that I want to spark, not at any time did I think that the state would come out with 73 more licenses for the state. I'm kind of glad that they did. With that number coming out there, when you have that much supply, there's going to be a demand for product in the state. And I know that there have been conversations, soft conversations throughout the state that they're going to allow for an additional processing plants, additional cultivation plants. So I wonder if this is something that maybe we should bring to topic light of discussion as well, and see if this is a change that we want to proactively look at in the city of Piqua again. So once again, it's just start the conversation, get it out there, be aware of it, and see if we can bring other opportunities to the city. And that is it for my report this evening.
Thank you very much. I'll be interested in seeing on two fronts, the medical marijuana, where we go with that, and the chicken co-op. That'll be interesting. For my report, I'd just like to thank all the bike riders that are out there. Please come to Piqua and continue to use our bike paths and do it safely. Next, I'd like to address what Mr. Hambleton had said, what is being done. His answer wasn't going to be given to him right when he wanted it. It had to be done during this time frame. This is a business meeting, and so I'll make my comments now. We have a resolution on community diversity, and we have been working on it, but because of the pandemic, it's been delayed. So the proclamation that we made in reference to racism was in reference to the health disparities and some of the health disparities concerning race. So what we wanted to do was to reactivate the community diversity program and have them target, because the previous community diversity program had to have focus, and one of the things that we could focus on is the health racial disparities. And we got with health partners, and they'd be willing to come in and set up and do well screenings for children, because that's where we see a lot of the problems at various locations in Piqua, including the Randolph Place when it's open and running. So we are working on getting the diversity committee back up and running and addressing some of the racism and as related to health issues and any other issues as the Committee on Community Diversity was formed, talked about. The Committee on Community Diversity will assist in the review, formation, and or development of recommended policy and program development strategies to enhance community diversity in the city of Piqua. So once we get that reformed and up and running, which is in the process now, we were willing to do more. So we're working on that. I had a question from Edna Stiffel. She called me last night, a delightful lady, in reference to the planners downtown, because people argue, and I talked to you about it, and you've explained as much as we can do, and hopefully that'll answer some people's questions, and people will always have a point to conversate about, and that's going to be one of them. The other question she had, though, was in reference to trash, and she says that some people that she's heard, and she goes to various places, they have said that when trash is being picked up, that sometimes trash and recycling is picked up by the same trash truck. And that is not the case, is it?
And that should not be the case?
That should not be the case. I've never seen it on my street or my alley, and not that I have a real long alley, but I've never seen the two different trucks come by.
Correct. We do not have a single stream recycle program where you basically put everything in one place and then they pick it apart. So There should be 2 trucks, 1 truck doing waste and 1 truck doing recycling. And when they go to the transfer station, they dump it in 2 different places.
Okay.
And it goes to 2 different streams.
If that is an issue and if that is being done, people need to call in and tell us.
Absolutely. Please call the sanitation and health
Yes.
director immediately.
All right, and I just wanted to address that. And trying to think, there'll be more coming on Juneteenth. We celebrated it, we want to announce how we can support that. Is the meeting tomorrow, Larry? I will be going to a meeting tomorrow in reference to that, and so we will have more to follow so that we can support that within the city of Piqua. And with that said, I have nothing else, and I will take a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 We are adjourned. Here, there you go. Larry, before you leave,
You're
you
still
got a
on.
second?